Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for another Community Spotlight. Today we are in Hyannis with Homeless Not Hopeless. We are joined here today with several folks, and we'll get a moment to speak with some of the residents here as well. But first, I wanted to ask just a question about the mission and the history.
The beauty of this is that it started off by homeless people with a little bit of help, and not much really, just a little bit of help. And it continues to be managed by homeless people. And so we have people come to us, knock on our door, I need help. We bring them in, they get themselves back together again, they get together, and pretty soon they're managing a house. Which is,
Incredible.
in some cases they become office manager.
Yeah.
It's so we have a great track record, but they know, they've been there, so you can't pull the wool over their eyes. They understand what's going on. And then we run without state or federal money. And so it's a really interesting program.
Yeah.
Still, so up until last year when Dan came aboard, we ran with just one paid employee.
So, as Dick said, Homeless and Hopeless, we currently house 64 formerly homeless men and women throughout our 5 homes. We're a transitional housing network, but more than that, we're an education program, right? So we offer not traditional education where we have teachers coming in, but we do help people get enrolled in classes, vocational school, GEDs. We offer education for things that people that have been living on the street might have lost, forgotten, or maybe never learned. Whether that be building a menu to go grocery shopping, budgeting, buying a car, figuring out how to do a mortgage, really anything in between. We focus on those life skills that are going to help people be successful. Awesome. And part of that too is mental health. We require all of our residents to get relief nurses. We work hand in hand with Duffy Health Center, with Meridian and relief nursing agencies to make sure that all of our residents have access to physical health care and mental health care, so we can really help tackle that part of it. And then also we're sober living, so we help people stay sober, achieve long-term sobriety. All right. So over the years, what HMH we have learned is that really the key to this all is self-worth, is building people up. My mantra is everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and appreciation. Right? Dignity, that we see them as human beings, we treat them as human beings, and we love them. And respect, treating people with respect, even when they don't give it back to you. You always give respect, and sometimes that might be the first time someone's been treated with respect in years. And then appreciation, really just appreciating where they're at, appreciating the circumstances. And really the key ingredient to it all is love. What we do is we meet people where they're at and love them. Over the past year, homelessness has increased 119% on the Cape, with 26 people that perished last year. And the year before that was 46, and there's already been a few deaths this year in the storm. So the need is growing, and to meet that need, we have to grow as well.
Absolutely.
So when someone donates to Homeless Not Hopeless, you're donating to help save lives, but also to help rebuild lives.
How can folks donate? How can folks get involved?
Our address is 119 Baxter Road.
But you can also go to homelessnothopeless.org.
Okay.
And there's a tab on top of the website that says support, and you can either send a check or do a PayPal donation.
Wonderful.
And you can also reach out to us. Our office managers' email is there. You can always email us for volunteer opportunity, or just to support us.
Now actually we're getting a wonderful chance to speak with some of the residents and some of the folks that work here that have grown up through the program. And so I just wanted you guys to get a chance to meet them. So I'm actually sitting here with Anthony. Anthony, thank you very much.
You're very welcome
for taking the time. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to ask you, how did you come to be at Homeless Not Hopeless?
My mom passed away 4 years ago, and I was homeless ever since. How I got to Homeless Not Hopeless, I was at a hotel, and God was knocking on my shoulder, or my mom was, and I called Homeless Not Hopeless, and Erica, I think, answered the phone. God answered my prayers. I had 2 days to get out, or I'd be on the streets if it wasn't for Homeless Not Hopeless.
Anthony, when you first moved in, what was your experience like?
Oh, great. Loving people. Just a lot of love in the air.
Yeah.
They make you feel welcome at home.
Anthony, thank you very much for
You're very
taking a
welcome.
few minutes.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate that.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Same to you. Erica, thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I was hoping you could just share with our employees and our community kind of how you came to be and just the wonderful opportunities you've received here, and then how you've matured through the program and leveraged it for many other things.
I found myself in a mental health crisis unit. I was homeless. I'd been couch surfing for 2.5 years. Peer support specialist who was working in that crisis unit said, hey, there's a place on the Cape that takes homeless people, and you should put in an application, because I had talked about how I'd gone there with my grandparents, and it was a place
you had the history tied to it.
And it was a place that was like, it brought me comfort and peace, and it felt safe to me. And they called, and I literally cried. So I came in and learned the bus system and everything, and started getting around doing things. And they were like, what is this girl doing?
Okay.
Because they weren't used to that. So I did that, and because I took that kind of initiative when I came through the door, they kind of said, okay, we're gonna make this girl assistant manager.
Wow.
So I did that for a while, and then they started letting me drive the company vehicle around. Then I became full manager at the house, and then the office manager in January. It was very, very tragic. She got hit by a car, and her shoulder was shattered.
Oh gosh.
And I went into the office, and there's Dick trying to muddle through with
doing
there's just a sea of paperwork, and I'm like, I can't look at him like just drowning in these papers, trying to figure out what's going on. So I said, I'll come in and help you sort the paperwork out. And so I went back in later, and I'm sorting paperwork out, and here comes one of the other board members, Maureen, and they're talking about, we need to hire an office manager. And Dick says, oh, do you have a few minutes? And I'm like, I guess, He says, what do you think about giving this a shot, And I was like,
absolutely.
oh my God, okay,
No.
And I hadn't worked since, like 2017. I've been working since January. I also have been working on my credit since November, when one of the education meetings at the house was about financial stuff. And just this weekend, I qualified for, I have a pre-approval for a mortgage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So like things are
congratulations. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, this is not reality.
I'm sure.
So it's just like, I just feel like I was put here. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
For a reason. Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be. I've always, since I was a kid, wanted to do things helping people, and that's what I'm doing. And
absolutely, you're absolutely
So,
helping people.
yeah,
And you're showing them what can happen, and what the success looks like if they can stick to the program and follow the rules and do all the incredible things and utilize all the incredible services that you get here at H&H.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Erica, thank you so much for taking a few minutes.
I appreciate
The
that.
last person we're going to get the amazing chance to speak with today is Christina. So Christina is a house manager here, actually here at the Pitcher's Way home that we are speaking to you guys from. So
I had a very busy life, raising kids, and I worked in real estate for a very long time. Family members, close brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, passing away. Like I guess what I was doing was just stuffing it. I had also been sober for a long time, and I had relapsed. And you put that combination together. I guess that's the way I was raised, just toughen up, and get through it. We don't need therapists or, all that stuff. And I just kept getting distant and more distant from everybody around me. And I started to isolate, which eventually led to me not working. And selling my house, and then that's all right, because I'll just rent a house, and then now I can't pay for that. And for me, it was a lot of ego, and I didn't want to admit that I needed the help. Somebody called me and they're like, why don't you call this place? We told you to call before. And luckily, Erica answered the phone, and I went in for an interview with her and Barbara, and my friend was waiting for me. She was outside. And we talked and we laughed, and I felt so comfortable because they're one of us. They got it, and there was no judgment. They took me right away, and I went in the next day, and I walked into the woman's house on Main Street, and it's a beautiful home, and the women were all nice. The house was clean, and everything they said that would happen that I'd feel home, I'd feel safe, I'd feel loved, and I didn't even like to say that word because I just shut down for the longest time, and I don't know, it was the first time I felt happy. Erica had asked me if I wanted to be the house manager of the new house, and I couldn't think of a better honor because what I've seen this foundation do blows me away. So I became the house manager, and I can't tell you how many of my closest friends and people that have known me for a long time are saying it sounds like you again. I could never repay what they give me.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're an absolute success story from H&H, but also you had that ability to be able to lift yourself up. I know they talk here a lot about how being a hand up as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So thank you very much, Christina, for the time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Awesome.